Welcome once again to Walker Tea Review. Glad you could come back and join us. If this is your first time, welcome, of course. And I hope you're here to really experience and explore some teas. Perhaps you're in the market, you're shopping right now. This is a place to get a kind of introduction. Take the knowledge that you find here, take it to your local tea shop, ask them questions, and you'll be able to ask them more about the right kinds of questions when you learn and see what tea is about and how it's prepared. We've got a nice tea for you to look at today. I hope and taste. I hope you went ahead and ordered it in advance so that you could taste along with us. This one is going to be a treat, I believe. So let's talk about this. Let's get this tea started. This is Rishi teas. They're Baihao Oolong, and it's from Hsinchu. Hsinchu is the county in Taiwan, so this is a Taiwanese oolong. A little bit unique in respect to other Rishi packaging, where you might find your teas simply in the bag. There's an inner bag here to preserve freshness, and when I received this was actually vacuum sealed. We're using a gaiwan today for our oolong tea, which you'll often see me using a clay teapot. Rishi, another advantage a thing I appreciate about Rishi is they will recommend using gaiwans like this. So we're going to take a note from their page here and get this gaiwan ready to go. Now theirs will tell you fill a gaiwan 75% full. If we were going to re-steep this multiple times, if I was going to sit around for a few hours and enjoy this tea, I would fill it up 75%. But considering that we're going to do I may do a second steeping off camera just because I enjoy this one so much. We're not going to fill it up that much. Actually, I'm filling it up just to kind of cover the bottom. You know what? I'm going to add just a pinch more. The other thing that you'll note is that when you look inside, there's actually a preservative here, an oxygen absorber, something to keep the tea drier, fresher. That's in there too, which means it's important to keep this tea closed up as much as possible. Our water that we have here is, close that up just a little bit because we do want to come back to that. Water has been brought to a nice full. Well, I listen to my water, and when I hear it to start to churn in there, that's when I turn it off, especially if I'm wanting something hot like this one that I want for this oolong. So we're going to add our water. We're going to let the water kind of swirl around, make sure it kind of coats our leaves so that we are not getting dry leaves floating on the top. We also fill our gaiwan. Gaiwan really just means wan bowl, gai meaning lid, so it's covered bowl, lidded bowl, and we fill it so that there's actually a little bit of water sticking out above the rim of the lid, which gives us a nice seal. We can set that aside, put this down, and we can give a little bit more of an introduction about this tea. If you're here to taste with us, before I forget, especially tastings like this, you get a lot out of it. You get to learn and experience the tea for yourself. Just above you'll find the future episodes page where you'll be able to look at teas that you may be interested in trying with us. Secondly, beside that, there's a how to taste page where you will find information on equipment that you may want to have, like the gaiwan as well, and aspects of the tea that you'll want to note or appreciate during a tasting. So that's there as well. Take a look, take advantage of that, and we're going to go ahead and kind of get into this tea and give it a proper introduction. This is Rishi teas. It is their, as we said, their Baihao Oolong Hsinchu. Okay. Information here. I like their description here, talking about how there's a lightly fruity, sweet, acidic, and flowery honey notes. Okay, that's their description. Also, an aspect to note here about their loose tea, it tells you their steeping instructions, which we follow to a certain extent. We did use a gaiwan. It says fill 75% of a porcelain gaiwan. Their recommended water temperature is 190 degrees. And then they also give you the steep times. First infusion, 1 minute, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 20 seconds for the third infusion, 2 minutes for the 4th infusion. So they tell you that you can get several steepings out of this. When you're filling it up higher, you generally follow a shorter steep time because you've got a lot of leaves there to release flavor. This particular tea, 2.8 ounces. No, I'm sorry, that's not correct. Let me look at the right one. I'll have to get back to you on the, you have to check the link to make sure we've got the most updated price listing. I can tell you, this is 50 grams, this size, and we'll have to check the price on that in just through a link. I can tell you other information about this. This is from the Beipu village, so they tell you exact or more precise origin. They tell you the kind of tea tree this comes from. This is the Qingxing Damo varietal. That's the kind of tea tree or leaf. And they even go so far as to tell you the date it was harvested, because this is a small harvest. It was, they can tell you this was harvested on June 2nd, 2009. So still plenty of, and the way it was vacuum sealed, it gives you a lot of freshness still wrapped up in there. Okay, so let's give this moment, take a moment now and take a quick sniff of the dry leaf. We've let that steep quite a while. There's going to be some pungent, strong aromas and colors coming off of that. Now, our aromas coming off of the dry leaf, quite light. You're getting a little bit of a light sweetness coming off of there, but not very much. Get a few of the dry leaves and look at those. Variety of colors. Now the BaiHao gives us an indication that we're getting some kind of tips, the white tippy aspect, and which you do see here. You are getting some silvery type needle looks, needle appearances there. You're getting some auburn, kind of tawny looking reddish browns as well. You're seeing already just from the dry leaf that there's leaf, and a tip. So it's 2 leaves and a bud type of harvest that we have there. Yeah, that gives us the variety of the color. You're also getting some kind of darker grayish brown, like a seal brown. So richly oxidized, nice tips in there. Generally a mark of quality, 2 leaves and a bud is that standard with those silvery fuzzy looking tips. Good indicators there. So let's seal this back up. We'll just get ready to give us a pour here. Now with our gaiwan, we do want to use our tea towel to kind of catch any drips, especially since we're pouring into a wine glass. Middle finger, thumb on the rims here, angling our lid just a little bit to give us an opening here to pour through. Index finger to hold down the lid, and away we go. Rich fragrance. That's one of the key notes that you'll pick up from this tea. So let's set that aside briefly. Look at our wet leaf here. I'm going to make some notes about this. Let me see, leave that over there. Immediately, an overwhelming and very rewarding orange blossom smell that's coming off of this. A little bit of a rich, almost a little bit of a honey aspect as well. So very fragrant. Okay, so that covers a little bit about that. Let me turn this over actually. Look at our leaves for a moment. When you look at your wet leaf, colors tend to lighten up some, and so you're getting a richer green color off of your leaves here, with edges that are kind of a reddish rust, where the oxidization has begun to take place as these leaves have been crushed and wrinkled. They're often shaken to bruise the outer edges of the leaf as they bump up against other leaves, and often like a bamboo or kind of slotted screen type tray. And bump up against that tray as well. Okay, let me see if we can. I also want to dig out that characteristic 2 leaves. Yeah, here we are. A nice leaf tip or bud there. That's there. These leaves actually look fairly. Let me pull out another set here. There we are. A leaf. Oops, that was another little leaf, I believe. There. That takes. You're seeing a variety of greens. Still a nice, healthy looking. Like a pear green type. You're also getting some of those browns, rich, like a auburn type of brown. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that takes care of our leaf. Rich aromas, variety of colors, gentle oxidization around the green leaf, bruised edge with a rust type of edge. Let's get into our liquor now. Still very pungent, very strong, sweet, honeyed, floral, orange blossom smell coming off already. That sweetness, that sweet smell carries right on through to your mouth. You get you get that little bite that they mentioned, a little bite of a kind of acidic, not really astringent, but just a little bit of a tart kind of tanginess at the back, and it's very gentle. So it's almost like biting into a citrus fruit in that aspect, because it does have a bit of that tartness to it. In the taste, you also get a bit of a kind of pomelo. Pomelos are a bit sweeter than a grapefruit, but tartar than an orange. So it's like between the grapefruit and an orange in that aspect. So it does still have that character there. The body, very light, gentle. It does have a bit of smoothness to it, and the aftertaste carries on. You're still getting, it's almost like you're still smelling it. It's like it's stuck in your nose. That sweetness, that floral, that honeyed citrus type. So, when you look at this tea and you consider the fullness of that body and that aroma, the fact that it carries on so strongly and so well, that it gives you that bit of tartness in the taste of it, the aftertaste as well. That the body is subtle and gentle, yet still smooth. This tea brings a wonderful package to it, and that's why Walker Tea Review exists, is to bring these teas out so that we can all taste them together, so that you can see how to taste them, how to prepare them, so that you get the most out of your teas. This is one that we gave a 93 because it does have that complex, smooth aroma, a strong aroma. Could this have had a bit of a stronger broth? Perhaps. We're willing to forgive, though, because that aftertaste does carry on so well. It does bring a little bit of pizzazz to it, and that tartness to it, and so we gave this one plenty of respect. Good score. This was Rishi's BaiHaoHsinchu, their Wulong that we looked at here at Walker Tea Review.